Hey there, you fabulous folks. I hope your day has been absolutely awesome. We're back for another exciting episode of What If Naruto Was the Conqueror of the Shinobi World. A big shout out to the amazing author behind this fanfiction and show them some love. You'll find their details in the description box below. If this what if scenario is getting your imagination going, drop a comment down below and share your thoughts. And don't forget to explore more mind-blowing what ifs on the channel. Alright, without further ado, let's jump right into this video. Teammate. The Konoha team was rushing through the trees when one of them tripped over a wire. Before they could process what was happening, a big chain wire fell over them. The ropes were supported by connecting with the trees, and multiple ice fell from the trees around their bodies as they started drinking their blood. You should have been careful. Insects can be quite frightening, Shino spoke, adjusting his glasses. Their scream of agony was heard throughout the whole forest. At the gates, Anko smirked from the screams. Only 3 minutes, that's a new record, Anko said with a devious smile. Team 9. They kept jumping from tree to tree when several shurikens flew towards them. Neji and Lee jumped away to a clearing of the forest, trees all around them. He activated his Byakugan. Much to his disappointment, the Shinobis were from a small village. Therefore worthless and weak. How about you give us your scroll? The one who Neji thought was the leader spoke with a cocky attitude. The Hyuga instead smirked, knowing they had the scroll they needed. Lee, they have it, Neji simply said. Lee nodded his head and jumped towards the third guy. His feet caught him off guard, a good kick in the chin broke his jaw, and his body was sent flying crashing against a tree, his back broken from the force. He screamed in agony, his mouth full of blood, desperately trying to speak. Aka the girl screamed in horror, turning to run towards him when Neji showed up behind her. You should never let your guard down, he stated with a grin. 2 palms. 4 palms. 8 palms. 16 palms. Before he could finish, the leader tried to slice him with a small sword when an arrow pierced his leg, followed by 2 more around his left and right arm. Neji saw Tenten wink at him from afar, holding a bow in her hand. He turned his eyes to the girl, but she was on the ground, crawled. Neji checked the bags and found the scroll, and they walked away, leaving the other team defeated. We have both scrolls, what now, Neji? Tenten asked with a little shrug. It seemed this was far easier than she had thought. Let's find another team, the Kumo team this time, Neji stated with a dark look, remembering the 2 Kumo teams. If he could find one of them, he would be happy enough. Naruto. This is troublesome, what should we do? Shikamaru asked. We go after the other 2 teams that were nearby. The ones that are closing in together. Naruto answered. Then I suggest we observe them before engaging. We shouldn't waste time if they don't have a heaven scroll. If one of them does have it, we could wait them out and learn their abilities during their battle against the other team, and attack when they are weak and exhausted. Shikamaru suggested. Solo plan, Shika. Guess it's a better plan than any. If time is of the essence, we could always just jump in and finish the battle ourselves, Ino said confidently as she turned to Naruto. Can you identify who they are, Naruto-kun? Ino asked. One of the team is from Konoha, but there is something strange about them. Naruto pondered. Strange how? Ino asked with a raised eyebrow. Well, first of all, one of them has an aura of deep malice, while the other 2 are complete blanks. I can hardly sense any emotion coming from those 2. The other team, however, is from Kusa. One of them is, oh no. Naruto said in panic. What's wrong? Shikamaru asked. We have to go. Now. Naruto said as he ran forward, while Ino and Shikamaru followed behind him. Naruto-kun, what's wrong? Ino asked in worry. I know one of the Kusa ninjas. She's in danger. And if my hunch about the Konoha team is right, she and her teammates have no chance against them. Naruto said as he led Ino and Shikamaru away. I wonder if she will be able to handle them. After all, she's a pure Uzumaki, Naruto thought. With Team Karin and Team Root. Karin and her team were immediately ambushed, not 10 minutes after the exam started. Whoever the attackers were, they were highly skilled in stealth, as they could conceal their presence almost flawlessly. But luckily, Karin was a sensor, as she was able to detect them when they were close by, and alerted her teammates before they could attack. But instead of thanking her, her teammates simply grabbed her arm and proceeded to bite down on it, as they consumed some of her chakra to gain a power boost. She absolutely hated them for this, especially when she didn't even give her consent first. But she realizes this wasn't the time for her to be angry at them yet, as she learns that their incoming enemies were no ordinary genin. And she was right. At first, they tried to trap her in some genjutsu, but thankfully Karin was able to detect it immediately. The genjutsu was surprisingly powerful and difficult to break, but she eventually dispelled it. But when she came back to reality, the first thing she saw completely terrified her to the core. Both her teammates were killed by a giant bear, made of ink. It ripped their flesh apart with its large teeth and razor claws, leaving their corpses almost beyond recognition. Karin was trembling in fear when the large bear started approaching her, until it suddenly exploded in her face like a balloon of ink, terrifying her even further as she screamed out in fear. She then saw 3 figures in black clothing, each wielding a tanto, standing before her. One was a girl with long brown hair, and she was wearing a porcelain mask to conceal her face. The other was an extremely pale boy with an emotionless expression. And lastly, their leader, who had an aura of darkness around him. Please, just take my scroll. You don't have to kill me, Karin begged as she slowly backed away from them. Oh, don't worry, sweetheart, we don't plan to. We're actually here to capture you, one said with a sadistic smirk. Capture me? Why? What do you want from me? Karin asked fearfully. Because our lord demands it. And I must say, I'm a little disappointed. Given that you're an Uzumaki and all, I thought you put up more of a fight. You brought nothing but shame to your warrior ancestors. He mocked the deed, but what he said just now made Karin even more fearful. How do you know I'm an Uzumaki? I didn't even use my full name to register for this exam. Who are you, people? Karin demanded to know since it is optional to not give your last name in the exam for clan safety purposes. As smart as that was, your red hair is a dead giveaway. And our sources are always reliable. Now stand still while we put you to sleep, he said as he motioned the girl to put Karin into another genjutsu. The girl, Yakumo, doesn't need to do hand seals to use her clan's genjutsu power. She simply has to focus on her target or the environment around her, as the genjutsu she creates is so powerful that it is hard to tell reality and illusion apart. As she tries to put Karin to sleep, Yakumo didn't realize how strong Karin's will is, as the Redeed refuses to be captured before she can even achieve her own goal. Don't mess with me, Dadabayo. Karin shouted out in anger as 4 chakra chains emerged from her back and were sent to attack the root ninjas. Caught completely off guard by the fast-moving attack, Yakumo was knocked away by one of the chains, while the other wrapped around Sai in a tight grip. Karin then turned her attention to Tanuki, whose face looked unamused and bored. Angered by this, she sends 2 chakra chains directly at him, intending to impale him with the sharp blades at the front, but Tanuki simply stands his ground without a care in the world. As the chakra chains got closer, Tanuki then raised his left hand, revealing a mark on his palm in the shape of 2 circles, one overlapping the other. Shade Style. Inhaling Maw. Karin was shocked when her chains were being absorbed into the top square mark like it was being sucked into a vacuum. Tanuki continued to absorb her chakra until the adamantine chains were completely gone, leaving her defenseless as she dropped to her knees, panting. How did you do that? Karin asked as she felt completely drained. Well, you have your chains, I have my Meiton, Dark Release, also known as Shade Style. It has given me the power to absorb, manipulate and release chakra. And I must say, your performance was not disappointing at all. Danzo-sama will be pleased to have a weapon like you, Karin Uzumaki, Tanuki said with his sadistic smirk. Damn it, it felt like he just took more than half my reserves. I can't use my adamantine attack chains at this point, Karin thought in worry. While Sai and Yakumo got back up on their feet, Tanuki then went to approach the downed Karin, as he aimed his left hand at her. Now, hold still while I drain the rest of your chakra, Tanuki said with an evil grin. Somebody, please, help me, Karin whispered under her breath as she let out a few tears full from her eyes, hoping that someone would come and save her. And surprisingly, someone did. Fire Style. Flame Bullet. Wine Style. Great Breakthrough. Naruto and Ino came out of nowhere and unleashed their collaboration jutsu onto Tanuki, creating a large powerful inferno. Tanuki was able to jump away in time, but the massive fire was getting closer to his face. He could feel the intense heat. Feeling slightly worried, Tanuki raised his left hand once more. Shade Style. Inhaling Maw. Tanuki went to absorb the chakra, saving himself and his team in the process, as the inferno was completely sucked into the mark on his palm. As the smoke cleared, Team Root was now face to face with Team 10, with Karin kneeling behind them. When she saw her would-be saviors, she was surprised that one of them was the same blonde boy she saw in the first test. Naruto? Karin asked, hoping it wasn't a genjutsu. She had heard his name multiple times spoken during the writing exam. Naruto then turned his head to her and smiled. Hey, you must be Karin. Good to meet you. Naruto greeted her. Tanuki narrowed his eyes the second he saw the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. He absolutely hated that Danzo had not yet tamed the powerful beast, and put it under his direct control. That is Danzo-sama's weapon, not Hiruzen's, Tanuki thought. And he vowed to make sure it will. Well. Look at what we have here. The nine-tailed demon fox, himself. Tanuki said with a smirk. Ino immediately glared at Tanuki when he called her boyfriend a demon. No one calls her Whiskers that and gets away with it. You know, it's forbidden to call him that. You just earned yourself a penalty of death, you jackass. Ino said angrily. Ha, I don't give a shit about some stupid law created by that senile old Hokage of yours. I don't recognize his authority, and I never will. Tanuki scoffed. So you say, Root, Naruto said to Tanuki, and his eyes widened. Sai then went to approach Tanuki. It seems our mission has been comprised, Tanuki-san. Shall we withdraw? Sai asked. Fuck that. I say we take both the Uzumaki girl and the Kyuubi brat. Danzo-sama would be pleased to have Konoha's greatest weapon, and the last 2 Uzumakas under his control. Tanuki said with a sadistic smirk. The last part immediately caught Karin's ear. To Uzumaki who? Karin asked as she was desperate to know. That would be Naruto-kun, Ino answered. Karin then turns her attention to Naruto as she looks at him with hope in her eyes. Naruto, are you really? Karin asked, but Naruto didn't answer her, as he was completely focused on Tanuki after what he had just said. That's bull coming from you, Tanuki Shigaraki. Naruto threatened as he glared furiously towards the rude ninja. Tanuki wanted to retort, but when Naruto said his last name, his eyes immediately widened once more. No one, except Danzo, knows his full name, and that greatly disturbs him. How do you know who I am, demon? Tanuki demanded. Naruto merely smirked at the question. Your master is not the only one who's been spying, Tanuki team. The Hokage is not as dumb as you claim to be. We have eyes everywhere, even in the shadows. Naruto said with a smirk, never leaving his face. Not wanting to reveal the information provided by Itachi. Tanuki then gritted his teeth in anger at the blonde Jinchuriki. If this goes on, Danzo and Root will be compromised. He needs to neutralize the threat immediately. It seems capturing you, and the Uzumaki girl is no longer a secondary objective. You know too much, and so do your teammates. For that, they must die. Tanuki said as he aimed his left hand at Team 10 and Karin. Shade style. Judgment. Tanuki then expelled an enormous torrent of purple fire from the lower square mark on his palm, as they were shot directly toward Team 10 and Karin, more specifically Ino and Shikamaru. The purple fire was all the stored and converted chakra Tanuki had absorbed earlier, and judging from the size and magnitude of the blast, it was a lot. Thinking fast, Shikamaru quickly slammed his hand on the ground. Earth style. Mobile core. The earthly ground starts to crack around them, in a square shape, as the surface beneath Team 10's feet is lowered, saving them from the wide range of Tanuki's purple fire attack. Okay, that's new. I've never seen a Kekkei Jinkai like that before, Naruto thought, mentally smirking. Perhaps this exam would become even more fruitful than it already was. When the blast was over, Tanuki, Sai, and Yakumo immediately jumped into the square hole created by Shikamaru, but that was a fatal mistake on their part, as two shadow clones of Naruto suddenly appeared above them and took a deep breath. Wine style. Great breakthrough. The two clones blew a powerful gust of wind that was aimed at the backs of Team Root, and since Tanuki could not absorb them in time, he and his team were being blown downwards. Shika, now. Naruto ordered. Shikamaru then slammed his hand on the ground once more. Earth style. Mobile core. Shikamaru then raised the ground beneath them, as Team Root was slammed hard into the rising ground, as the momentum of their descent made a large crater when they crashed. Sai was the first to recover as he took out his brush and scroll, and began to draw several lines. He then made a single hand seal. Ninja art. Super beast scroll. The 9 large lines he drew immediately came to life as they rushed toward Team 10. Ino then jumped above and made several hand seals. Fire style. Phoenix flower jutsu. Her fireballs were on point, as they managed to destroy all of the inclines, before they could get near her and her team. Some of the fireballs managed to land a few feet from Sai, causing an explosion as it knocked him back down on the ground. You're good, for an ugly girl, Sai said to Ino with a fake smile. Ino's eye immediately twitched at his comment. What the fuck did you just call me? Ino yelled out in rage. While this was happening, Tanuki and Naruto were engaged in a fast-paced taijutsu fight. Naruto realizes that using ninjutsu against Tanuki is pointless, so fighting him hand-to-hand is his only valuable option. Naruto used his wing fist to counter all Tanuki's punches and kicks, and swiftly countered them with several jabs and chops to his stomach and chest. When Tanuki took out his kunai and attempted to stab Naruto with it, the blonde Senju managed to catch his wrist, and did an over-the-shoulder takedown on Tanuki, and Naruto follows up, by firmly kneeling on Tanuki's chest, with both fists aimed at his head. Wing fist art. Chain of jabs. Naruto unleashed multiple fast jabs on Tanuki's face, practically burying his head in the ground. But suddenly, Tanuki burst into water, indicating that he substitutes himself with a water clone. Tanuki appeared behind Naruto and aimed his kunai at him like a gun. Water style. Suriha. Tanuki then shoots several water bullets toward Naruto, as the blonde does several backflips to gracefully avoid them. Naruto then threw a single kunai toward Tanuki. He did several hand seals to perform another jutsu. Ninja art. Shuriken shadow clone jutsu. That one kunai multiplied into hundreds as they were heading toward Tanuki. Whether it was created by chakra or not, Tanuki could not absorb a clone jutsu. So instead, he tried to find cover, but some of the kunais managed to hit his right shoulder and left leg, causing him to yell out in pain. This isn't good. He's much more powerful than I thought, and he's not even using Kyuubi's power. I can't let him escape since I have revealed too much to them, but I can't let them capture me or Yakumo. Damn it. Tanuki thought in panic as he turned his head and saw Yakumo fighting against Shikamaru. Yakumo was armed with her standard root Tanto, while Shikamaru had his kunai at hand. While the Nara wasn't the best when it came to close-quarter combat, Yakumo was far worse since she mainly relied on her genjutsu, which she couldn't perform if she couldn't focus. When he saw an opening, Shikamaru quickly landed a strong punch on Yakumo's head, knocking the porcelain mask off her face. This worries Tanuki more, as Nara was able to get a good look at her face, which was supposed to remain hidden no matter what. Tanuki finally had enough, as he called out to Sai, who was currently fighting against Ino. Sai, get yours out of here, Tanuki ordered. But you said, Sai didn't get to finish his sentence. Shut the fuck up, and do as I say, Tanuki ordered once again, but with more rage in his voice. Sai then managed to get away from Ino and jumped next to Tanuki, as he took out his brush and scroll once more and drew a picture of a bird. Ninja art. Super Beast scroll. The bird drawing came to life as Sai and Tanuki jumped on top of it. The large ink bird began to hover above the ground and flew towards Yakumo, grabbing her in his talon as it flew out of the forest at an incredible speed. The ink bird couldn't grab Karin since Naruto was close to her, leaving Team Root's mission a complete failure. Naruto narrowed his eyes when Tanuki and his team had finally left his line of sight. Tanuki was surprisingly skilled than he thought, and he had an extremely rare and dangerous Kekkei Genkai. That Sai guy had a unique jutsu to bring his drawings to life. While the girl in the mask was a complete mystery to him. She didn't say a word, but Naruto could tell she specialized in genjutsu. Their chakra levels were Chunin level, and like Sai, he couldn't sense any emotion coming from her. But he did feel a glimpse of sadness and despair in her heart. Like she was in constant pain. Naruto will need to investigate her identity later, but until then, there is still one person who he can help now. Naruto and Shikamaru went to approach Karin, who Ino was treating for any wounds. Naruto then knelt down to her eye level. Karin, are you alright? Naruto asked. Yeah, just a little shaken up, that's all, Karin reassured with a sad smile. Well, let's not linger here any longer. Our fight with Tanuki and his team was not really subtle. Let's get back to that tree earlier. It seemed like the safest place at the moment, Shikamaru suggested. Yeah, you're right, Naruto agreed, but then he noticed Karin was still weak from the chakra drain, so he then gently grabbed her and held her bridal style. Bppp. Naruto. What are you doing? Karin asked, with a huge blush on her face. But Naruto ignored her question, as he was the first to jump onto the tree branches, and quickly head towards the large tree where they had been earlier, thinking it was the safest place to be at the moment. As they jumped, Karin couldn't help but gaze upon Naruto's face, as her blush deepened at how Ino could only pout at the romantic scene before her as she and Shikamaru ran alongside Naruto. Her control over her jealousy has improved lately, but this is just ridiculous. How could anyone not be jealous of this? When they arrived at the tree, Naruto gently placed Karin on the ground. After confirming the area was secured at the moment, Shikamaru decided to lay back and relax while Naruto, Ino, and Karin were eating their lunch. They were currently enjoying some homemade rice balls made by Ino's mom. Karin, however, was having trouble eating, as she couldn't stop thinking about her dead teammates. Naruto noticed this and decided to console her. I'm sorry about your teammates, Karin, Naruto said. Karin was quiet at first until she finally spoke. They may be bone-headed and unconsidered assholes, but they were still my teammates. And they didn't deserve to die the way they did, and it was all because of me. Those guys came after us because of me, Karin said as she started to cry out tears of guilt. This is not your fault, Karin, Ino said reassuringly as she patted the Radids back to console her. Exactly. You didn't do anything wrong. This was all Tanuki and Root, Naruto said with venom in his voice. Who are these people? What do they want from me? Karin asked. Tanuki is an agent of Root. It's a subdivision of our village's Anbu organization. But the thing is, they don't take orders from the Hokage. Instead, they only serve one man, Danzo Shimaru. Naruto explained, as he literally spat when he said the old Warhawk's name. Isn't he one of Konoha's village elders? Karin said as she recalled her studies in Konoha. That's the one. But unlike Sarutobi-sensei, Danzo doesn't see shinobis as humans. Instead, he only sees them as disposable weapons. He even forcefully educates his agents with this philosophy by wiping out any trace of human emotion in them, making them a perfect tool, Naruto said. Karin felt a cold chill crawling up her spine when she realized what could have happened to her if she had been captured. So you're saying if they had taken me, Karin started. You would have been brainwashed into becoming a Root agent, whose mind, body, and soul will solely live to obey Danzo's every command, Naruto finished. Karin was beyond shocked. How could someone so evil live freely in Konoha and not be arrested or, better yet, executed? Why doesn't the Hokage do anything about this? What this Danzo is doing is inhumane, and he has to be stopped, Karin demanded to know. Naruto wanted to say that the Hokage they had wasn't exactly the best, but he held his tongue for now, knowing his teammates were there. His actual thoughts would be better to be hidden for now. Without solid evidence, Sarutobi-sensei can't prove that Root is still active when on paper, it is disbanded. Besides, it's not like we haven't tried. Every time we capture or kill a Root agent, their bodies would just burst into flames until only ash remains. Whatever Fuinjutsu Danzo used, he made sure never to leave a trace. That bastard also has the backing of the other two elders and the fucking civilian council, Naruto said frustratingly, but then an interesting thought came to his mind. But I think we finally got him this time, Naruto said, with his eyes widened. What do you mean? Ino asked. That dumb son of a bitch, Tanuki, just admitted out loud that he was acting under the orders of Danzo. And we all heard it. Naruto explained excitedly. But that's still not really solid evidence, Dadabayo. It's just your word against his, Karin pointed out. Ino was also skeptical until she finally realized what Naruto was trying to say. Unless I heard it, Ino said in shock at the revelation. Bingo. Ino-chan is a Yamanaka. They are blessed with superhuman mental strength and resistance. Her memories can't be tampered with or altered, making her the perfect witness. And once her father, the head of Konoha's T&I department, sees her memories of this encounter, that old warhawk is dead in the water. Naruto explained his near flawless plan. Shikamaru, who was listening to their conversation, had to admit, whether it was a long shot or not, Naruto's idea could possibly work against the near impossible scenario of taking down Root once and for all. That could actually work, Naruto. Holy shit, even for me, that's pretty smart. Shikamaru admitted. Haha, well, for now, let's not bet all our money on this. We still don't know where Root's secret headquarters is. But right now, I'll settle for Danzo being removed from any position of power in Konoha. That will, at least, be a start. Naruto said as Ino and Shikamaru nodded in agreement. Karin was happy that her new friends were able to find some hope in her grave misfortune. It gave her comfort that her teammate's death meant something in the long run. So, what now? Karin asked the trio. Well, we actually came looking for a heaven scroll until Naruto sensed you were in danger. So I guess we just pick up where we left off. Shikamaru explained. This made Karin blush once more. You came, just to help me, Naruto? Karin asked with a blush on her face. Yup. I knew those guys were bad news, and I didn't want anything to happen to you. But, I'm really sorry, that we were too late to save your teammates, Karin. Naruto apologized. It's okay, Naruto. I'm still very grateful that you saved me. And, as a show of gratitude, here. Karin reached into her pouch and pulled out a heaven scroll. A heaven scroll. That's exactly what we need. Ino said excitedly as she takes the scroll out of Karin's hand. Yeah, I don't really need that anymore now. I guess I'm disqualified from the exam since I lost both my teammates, Karin said sadly. I'm sorry, Karin. Naruto couldn't help but apologize once more. Teehee, stop apologizing, Dadabayo. The only reason I want to become a chunin in the first place is so I can have more options when it comes to missions outside of Kusa. And hopefully, find other Uzumakas. And yet, you found me, Naruto said smoothly as he looked into her red orbs. And yet, I found you, Karin repeated as she continued to look into his blue orbs. Damn it. Ino pouted in her mind as another cute girl had been added to her boyfriend's life. Karin, can I ask you something? Naruto asked out of the blue. Sure, anything, Karin answered. Are you happy? In Kusagakure? Naruto asked, which surprised, honestly, no. My parents managed to escape when Iwa, Kumo, and Kiri destroyed Izushigakure, hidden Edi village. My dad passed away a few years later from an incurable disease, leaving my mother and I to fend for ourselves. We were allowed to take refuge in Kusagakure, but only on the condition that she healed the village's wounded. Karin explained her past. So your mother is a medical ninja? Ino asked. Not exactly. As Uzumaki, we are blessed with immense longevity and tremendous reserves of chakra and vitality. My mother and I, however, were special, as we had inherited a much stronger life force that also grants powerful healing capabilities, allowing me to mend wounds and regenerate quickly. Even more, by biting myself and consuming some of my chakra. But, we can also heal others, by letting them bite us. Karin explained. So, they just bite her? Shikamaru asked. Bite, yes, Karin corrected as she showed the many bite marks on her right arm. By the sage of the six paths, Ino was beyond shocked when she saw them. But, what happens to your mum? Naruto asked. Karin immediately tensed at the question, remembering it as the worst day of her life. One day, the village suffered many casualties following a surprise attack. My mother upheld her duties and healed the wounded at the Kusagakure hospital. But she died after transferring too much chakra to the wounded. Immediately afterward, the duty was passed down onto me. Karin said sadly. How old were you then? Naruto asked. I was only 8. She just bought me my new glasses the day before. And when I saw her body, I only had a few seconds to mourn her before they dragged me away to heal the wounded. I still remember the first time they bite me. I didn't even get a say as they sank their teeth into my skin and sucked out my chakra. It was even worse when I had to do it with so many wounded at the same time. That was the day I felt so empty. I just want. Karin couldn't finish her sentence as she let out a few tears. Naruto then instinctively pulled her into a warm hug. I'm so sorry, Karin. You and your mother didn't deserve to be treated that way. Naruto whispered in her ear. I'm still treated that way, Naruto. I called my teammates assholes because they treated me just like everyone else in the village. An outsider. A tool. A fucking piece of meat whose only value is being bite on, so that they could feel better and stronger. So no. I'm not happy in Kusagakure. Karin said as she wiped away the tears in her eyes. Naruto then pulled away from the hug and looked at her in a serious manner. What if I say I can offer you a place in my home? Naruto asked with a smile. You have a home? Karin asked, slightly surprised. Like you, Karin, I've been trying to find other Uzumaki survivors. And hopefully, with their consent, bring them to my home, so they can be safe from those who wish to exploit us. And since you're not happy in Kusagakure, how do you like to make my home your new home? Naruto asked. I don't know if it's even possible, Naruto. I'm still a registered genin of Kusa and a highly valuable asset to them. If I leave, I'll be branded a missing nin. I'll be hunted my entire life. Karin said sadly. Not unless they think you died in the second test, Naruto said with a smirk. Died? Karin asked fearfully. Yup. If I recall correctly, it seems that your late teammates look like they had been mauled by a large vicious animal, and their bodies are now barely recognizable. Naruto started. And it is possible that said animal was carnivorous and managed to consume you whole. Ino continued. And the only thing that remains of you is your headband. Proof that you had died alongside your teammates. Shikamaru finished. While Team 10 were smirking at each other for a job well done, Karin felt slightly disturbed. You guys fake people's deaths often? Karin asked. Naruto, Ino, and Shikamaru looked at each other awkwardly as they realized their very quick out-of-the-box idea made their character look slightly shady. Anyway, Naruto decided not to answer. The point is that this is your best way out. So, what do you say? Naruto asked with hope in his eyes, which Karin was able to notice. No one has ever done something so genuinely kind for her, ever since her mother passed away, except her master. She had always felt alone and unwanted. And seeing how much her fellow Uzumaki hoped she could live with him immediately made her heart skip a beat. She then instantly hugs Naruto in a tight embrace. Are you kidding? Of course, Dadabayo. But there's still one problem. If I go to the tower with you guys, they will register my name, and my fake death plan goes out the window. Karin pointed out. Not a problem. Naruto said as he made a cross-eyed seal with his fingers. Shadow Clone Jutsu. A single clone appeared next to Naruto. My clone will teleport you to the home. For your safety, you'll need to stay home until the exams are over. And don't worry, there's plenty of food and supplies in the pantry. I'm sorry you couldn't bring any of your belongings from Kusa, though, Naruto said. Actually, I have them all right here, Karin said as she pulled a storage scroll from her back pouch. You packed all of your stuff in a sealing scroll, already? Ino asked. Well, I don't really have any friends or anyone I trust in Kusagakure. Also, in case I manage to make it to the survival stage of the exam, which I did and got myself killed somehow, I'd rather not have my precious belonging ransacked by those Kusa parasites. They've stolen enough from me already. Karin explained. Then I guess you don't have to worry about leaving anything behind then, Naruto said. Except for my mum's grave, but I'm sure she'll understand. I hope. Karin said. As long as you're safe and happy, your mother will rest in peace in the pure world. And as long as you remember her in your heart and mind, she will always be with you. Naruto said with a smile, which made Karin smile as well. Feeling a great sense of comfort from his words, Karin happily hugged Naruto once more. Thank you so much, Naruto, Karin said. Hey, we Uzumakas gotta stick together, right? And don't worry about Root. The house is protected by powerful security seals. Only those I allow may enter. Which reminds me. Naruto said as he grabbed Karin's hand and placed the entry seal on her palm. Think of this as a key only you can use, Naruto explained. Karin nodded in understanding and walked towards Naruto's clone. Are you ready? The clone asked. When he said that, Karin immediately took off her Kusa headband and threw it away. I am now, Karin answered the clone with a smile, and then turned to Naruto. I'll see you in 5 days, Naruto-kun. Good luck in the exam, Dadabayo. Karin said happily as she and the clone teleported away. And just like that, another cute girl is now on your list, Ino said, slightly annoyed. Not at the fact that Naruto had offered Karin a new home, but now said home has 2 pretty girls who like him. One of them was Anko, one of the most beautiful women in Konoha. So what should we do now? We have the scrolls. Naruto questioned, his teammates ignoring Ino's comment. Better than staying here any longer, Shikamaru added. Yeah, let's. Naruto didn't get to finish his sentence, as he felt one of his clones just dispelled and relayed a very disturbing message. Son of a bitch. Naruto curse. Naruto, what's wrong now? Shikamaru asked. And what Naruto said next made both Ino and Shikamaru extremely worried. Team 7 was attacked by Orochimaru. Hokage Tower, Hiruzen's office. As one of the most stressful days for the Hokage has come, meaning the Chunin exams, Hiruzen was surprisingly sitting on his couch, relaxing, with a cup of tea in his hand. As he relaxed, he couldn't help but smirk at his 4 shadow clones, who were currently slaving away the piles of paperwork on his desk. They even gave him a few glares every time he chuckled at their pain. I can't believe I haven't thought of this before. You should be the next Professor Naruto-kun. I wonder if Tobirama-sensei also had the same idea when he created this jutsu. If so, shame on you, sensei, for not telling me. My back has been killing me for sitting on that damn chair all day. Hiruzen said to himself as he took a sip of his tea and laid back with an overdue relaxation. But his moment of peace was halted when he heard a firm knock coming from the door. "Come in," Hiruzen called out as he sat up a little straighter. But the person who walked in immediately made the old Hokage lean back down on his seat and narrow his eyes. "What do you want, Danzo?" "I'm very busy," Hiruzen said as he turned away from his old friend and took another sip of his tea. Danzo then saw the 4 shadow clones of Hiruzen and could only smirk with amusement. "I see you made ingenious use of Lord Tobirama's jutsu. Very impressive. But I didn't take you the type to slack off on your duties, Hiruzen," Danzo said. "Did you come here to tell me something or criticize me?" "If it's the latter, you know where the door is," Hiruzen said with annoyance. "Neither. I am merely here to ask a question," Danzo stated. "And what question is that?" Hiruzen asked with narrowed eyes. "Why did you invite Kumagakure and Iwa to the Chunin exams?" Danzo asked. "Are you asking me, as one of the village elders or an old friend?" Hiruzen asked back. "I was hoping, trick question, Shimur. You always ask me as a village elder because that is what you only are. And you'll address me as Lord Hokage. Do I make myself clear?" Hiruzen stated firmly. Danzo said nothing as he simply glared at Hiruzen. "That wasn't a rhetorical question, answer me." Hiruzen pushed, much to Danzo's annoyance. "Yes, Lord Hokage," Danzo said bitterly. "Good. And to answer your previous question, for years now, I have been in talks with the 4th Hokage. We were discussing the possibility of an alliance between our hidden villages. But given our history, it was obviously not an easy process. So far, we only agreed on a non-aggression pact, but we both know that will not last forever nor benefit our village's growth. So as a show of good faith and the spirit of moving forward, I sincerely invited Kumo to participate and guarantee their shinobi's safety, before and after the duration of the exams." Hiruzen explained. "Permission to speak, Lord Hokage?" Danzo asked, with a slight venom in his voice. "You may, Danzo," Hiruzen answered. "Well, I understand your diplomatic reason. Do you really believe it is wise to ally ourselves with a hidden village that has harmed ours as much as Iwagakure? The kidnapping attempt of Kushina Uzumaki and the Hyuga heiress has not been forgotten. Nor the sacrifice of Lord Tobirama, who gave his life for ours during the First Great Shinobi World War. There are some in the council who will not stand for their presence here," Danzo informed. "And by some, you mean yourself, Karin, and Hamura?" Hiruzen asked with a bit of sarcasm. "And Hiashi Hyuga," Danzo finished with a smirk. Hearing this was enough for Hiruzen to let out a deep sigh as he rubbed his temples soothingly from all the stress. He knew the Hyugas held a deep grudge against Kumo, and would likely spark a great level of hostility between them. Something that this village does not need right now. "I will speak with Hiashi-san by the end of the day. He needs to know that I am doing something for the good of Konoha's future," Hiruzen stated. Danzo simply scoffed at the last sentence from the old Hokage. "The good of Konoha's future, huh? Do you know what the future of Konoha really is?" Danzo asked, which made Hiruzen narrow his eyes as he continued. "It's the river of blood of our enemies. A story that we agreed to tell each other over and over, until we eventually realized it was too late. The soft ideals of the Senju will only lead to a weakened Konoha," Danzo stated. "And what do we have left once we abandon those ideals? Chaos. The gaping pit waiting to swallow us all while the fires of war drown out the screams of the innocent, all because we betrayed what made this village strong and united," Hiruzen stated firmly. This merely made the old warhawk chuckle with amusement. "Chaos isn't a pit, chaos is a ladder. Many tried to climb but failed, and never get to try again. Because the fall breaks them, and some were given a chance to climb, but they refuse. Instead, they cling to their blissful purposeless lives. But it is all an illusion. In the end, only the latter is real, and war is what makes us true shinobi," Danzo stated. "If we are done discussing different philosophies, you may leave now," Hiruzen said angrily. "Very well, Lord Hokage," Danzo said. Earlier, with Naruto clone. While Team 10 was busy fighting against Team Samui and Team Root, one of Naruto's clones, Clone 7, was running through the woods in his camouflage form. He, along with the other clones, were assigned to locate any enemy teams nearby, and intercept them if they could. As he was jumping from tree branch to tree branch, he stopped midway when he felt a giant animal nearby. Usually, he would just ignore it, but he felt something wrong. Like, something was inside it. Something familiar. He ran towards its direction and was surprised when he saw a giant sleeping snake. Clone 7 still wondered why a mere giant snake felt so familiar to him, so he increased the range of his sensory perception, and his eyes widened when he felt one of his friend's chakra signatures was inside the snake's belly. "Choji!" Clone 7 yelled out as he charged toward the giant snake in an incredible display of speed. He then used his blood blade, and stabbed the blade into the top of the snake's skull. The giant snake was immediately awakened when it felt the painful sting on the top of its head, as it violently thrashed its long slithering body, and let out a loud and terrifying screech of pain and anger. Clone 7 was holding on to the sword handle for dear life, as the snake continued to rampage throughout the forest, breaking several trees and branches. When Clone 7 saw the giant snake was approaching a sharp broken tree branch, he smirked confidently when he figured that it was his best chance of killing the oversized reptile, once and for all. When the snake was near the broken branch, Clone 7 immediately jumped forward from the snake's head, disregarding his sword, and unleashed his chakra chains from his wrist, wrapping them around the snake's neck. Clone 7 then gracefully landed on his feet on another tree branch, with the broken sharp branch standing between him and the giant snake. Channeling more chakra into his arms and legs, Clone 7 used his newfound super strength to pull the snake's head directly onto the sharp tree branch. The snake tried to pull back in a tug of war, fearing for its life, but with one final pull from the blonde, the snake's head was impaled into the tree branch, making it screech out in pain even louder before it finally died. Clone 7 recalled his chakra chains into his wrist as he approached the now dead snake's head, and pulled his blade out from its skull. He then went to the snake's belly and stopped when he sensed where Choji was located exactly. Clone 7 then used his blade to cut a hole in the snake's belly, making its guts spill out, along with the chubby Akimichi, who was screaming in fear as he was covered in entrails and blood. Ahhhh. Ahhhh. Choji yelled out. Choji. It's okay, it's me, Clone 7 said as he slowly approached the scared-looking Akimichi. Naruto. How did you wait? How do I know that you're really Naruto and not some imposter? Choji said, putting his guard up, as he was told not to trust appearances, since enemy ninjas could use the transformation jutsu to fool him. Seriously? I just saved you from being snake shit. Why would an imposter do that? Clone 7 asked with a deadpan look. I don't know. I can't think straight right now. I just got eaten, for crying out loud. Just tell me something that only Naruto would know. Choji demanded. Okay, just calm down. Let's see. Oh, I know. When we were in the academy, I once challenged you to a ramen eating contest. I remember you vomited your guts out when you were reaching your 50th bowl. When it was over, you told me I was the first person to ever beat you in an eating contest besides your dad, and vowed to out-eat ramen more than me one day. PFFT, yeah, right. Clone 7 explained with a scoff at the end. Realizing that the clone was telling the truth, Choji sighed in relief as he approached Clone 7 and hugged him tightly, grateful for his help. Oh, Naruto, thank God it's really you. Thank you so much. Choji said as he let out some tears of joy. But the Akimichi was still covered in snake innards, so the hug was making Clone 7 uncomfortable. Oh, that's okay, buddy, no problem, Clone 7 said as he gently broke the hug, so that he could ask the Akimichi a serious question. Choji, what happened? Where's Sasuke and Sakura? I don't know. It happened so fast. Sasuke told us we were being chased by someone dangerous. We tried to outrun them, but they just kept chasing us. It's like no matter where we go, they will still be on our tail. We didn't want to exhaust ourselves any longer, so we decided to take a stand. Choji then explained to Clone 7 about how he and his team tried to set up a trap for their pursuer. They had everything covered, all from net snares and falling logs as they waited for the pursuer to arrive. But to their shock, the pursuer suddenly vanished before they could get close to one. Suddenly, there was an extremely powerful gust of wind, possibly a Futon wind-style attack. It blew them all away and deeper into the forest, separating Choji from Sasuke and Sakura. Choji was unconscious for several minutes, but when he woke up, he was immediately attacked and eaten by the giant snake. I was so scared. I knew I was close to being digested until I felt the snake suddenly move again. The next thing I knew, I saw a blade near my face, which literally cut me free. I owe you my life, Naruto. Choji said, thanking the blonde clone. It's okay, buddy. I'm just glad you're safe. Clone 7 said with a smile. But then Choji realized something. By the way, Naruto, where's Shika and Ino? Did you guys get separated too? Choji asked, wondering where the rest of his friends were. Oh, sorry, I forgot to tell you. I'm not really Naruto. I'm actually a shadow clone. Ino-chan and Shika are with the boss right now. Clone 7 explained. I see. Well, can you help me find Sakura and Sasuke? I can't tell which direction I was blown from, and I need to help them as soon as possible if they're in danger, Choji asked. Sure, hang on, Clone 7 said as he knelt down and placed his index finger on the ground. He then closed his eyes and activated his sensory perception. He focused on his surroundings until he finally detected the Uchiha, and they were fighting someone with monster star chakra. He immediately snapped his open when he recognized whom they were fighting. It was that Kusakanoichi, Shire. But the way Choji told him about how their pursuer kept chasing them, it almost sounded like a cunning predator stalking its prey. Clone 7 then realized that Shire intentionally targeted them from the beginning. But the question is why? Is it because she knew that they were rookies? or is it something else? Not willing to wait around and find out, Clone 7 stood back up and looked at his chubby friend with a serious gaze. I found them. But we need to hurry. This ninja that has been stalking you is no ordinary kunoichi, Clone 7 informed his chubby friend as he and Clone 7 ran towards their friend's direction. With Sasuke and Sakura. After they were blown away from the powerful wind-style attack, Sasuke and Sakura managed to stick together, but they lost track of their food-loving teammate. But when Choji suddenly appeared, Sasuke instantly knew that the person standing before him was not the real Choji, as he threw his kunace at him to ensure that he didn't get any closer. His suspicion was proven true when the so-called Choji was able to dodge every attack with an unnatural level of flexibility and agility that an Akamichi is known not to have. Kukikuku, I guess I can't fool the eyes of an Uchiha, fake Choji said with a sinister smirk, as he let out his unnaturally long tongue and licked his lips. His transformation was then dropped, revealing his true form. It was the same Kusa Kunoichi that creeped everyone out with her elongated tongue. She tried to bait them with her earth scroll, but what she did next shocked the Doujutsu duo to the core. Shire wrapped her scroll with her elongated tongue and swallowed it whole, daring them to get it from her corpse. Sasuke and Sakura knew that Shire was too dangerous to fight, since her presence alone was enough to scare them. As they were about to retreat, Shire unleashed her killing intent, completely paralyzing the Doujutsu duo with an intense level of fear. She showed them terrifying visions of their very violent deaths, as it was enough to bring both of them to their knees and vomit their guts out. They tried to get up. Shire felt disappointed that her prey failed to entertain her, so she took out two kunaes and threw them both directly at the duo's heads. Sasuke took out his kunai and stabbed deeply into his thigh. The immense pain he felt immediately freed him from his fear-induced paralysis, as he grabbed Sakura and jumped away, saving them both from being killed. Shire smirked with satisfaction as her hunt for the Uchiha continued. Sasuke and Sakura were taking cover on top of a tall tree branch, as the Uchiha pulled the kunai out of his thigh. Sakura managed to pull herself together, and she quickly went to bandage his leg before he suffered any more blood loss. Sakura then took 3 deep breaths to calm her nerves, but her eyes immediately widened when she saw a giant snake behind them. Sasuke-kun. Behind us. Sakura yelled out. Sasuke turned his head and saw the snake charging toward them. They both managed to jump away, but the snake continued to go after the Uchiha, as it let out a loud and terrifying screech. Panic in his eyes, Sasuke took out several shurikens and threw them all toward the snake's head, hitting all of its vital spots and killing it instantly. But when the duo thought they could finally have a moment to catch their breaths, Shire suddenly burst out from the snake's scaly skin, like it was made of paper. When Shire charges towards Sasuke in her snake-like elongated form, the Uchiha begins to panic in fear. Grabbing her quickly, they both jumped away just in time. The snake destroyed the tree they were standing on, landing on a tree branch. Sakura turned to Sasuke, who was still trying to calm his nerves. Sasuke-kun. Please snap out of it. I know she is terrifying, but we can't give in to our fears. Escaping is no longer possible, so we must face her here and now. Sakura boldly said. But Sasuke was still petrified, as Shire's killing intent affected him more than the girl, and the haunting images still linger in his mind. We don't stand a chance, Sakura. We can't beat her. We need to run before it's too late. Sasuke yelled shamefully. Sakura was heartbroken when she heard the fear and worried in Sasuke's voice, as she knew that a crush was losing his will to fight. Sasuke had always taken pride in his abilities, but to hear him admit out loud that he couldn't beat an opponent without even trying was painful to witness, especially to her. So Sakura did the only thing she could, slap. Sasuke touched his now red cheek as he looked in shock at the girl before him, giving him a sad look. If you don't fight, we die. But if you do, we might live. But I can't do it alone. I need your help, please, get up and fight, Sakura said desperately, with pure conviction in her voice, as she refused to let them both die. Sakura, Sasuke could only say. He kept hearing her words over and over, until he heard Itachi's final words to him before he fled the village. Foolish little brother. If you want to kill me, resent me, hate me, and continue to live your worthless life, flee. Flee and cling to your life like the coward you are. Those cruel words always managed to break his spirit, but then he remembered why he had trained and fought for so long, why he dedicated every hour of the day to training, to one day kill him. Fight, 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 fight. Sasuke thought in anger as he activated his Sharingan, as his fears instantly disappeared from his mind. As Sasuke stood side by side with Sakura, Shire finally reappeared and was now standing in front of the duo with a giant grin on her face. Kukikuku the fabled Sharingan, Shire said as she licked her lips excitedly with her long tongue. Let's see what those beautiful eyes can do. Shire said. There was now a moment of pure silence. All 3 Shinobis stood firmly, waiting for the right moment to strike. As a falling stray leaf landed on the branch before them, Sasuke and Sakura immediately rushed forward and engaged Shire in a taijutsu fight. Sasuke threw several kunaes towards Shire, but the Kusa Kunoichi managed to dodge them effortlessly. Shire then demonstrates her unnatural speed as she knocks Sakura away and continues to zoom around Sasuke in an effort to catch him off guard. But Sasuke has a Sharingan and was able to see her attacks coming and jumped away. He then made several hand seals. Fire style. Fireball jutsu. Sasuke blew out a stream of fire from his mouth towards Shire. She was caught in the fire stream but managed to go underground before suffering from any real damage. She crawled her way towards Sasuke, but he managed to jump away in time before she could grab him. Sasuke instantly readied himself as he was now standing beside Sakura. Shire then unleashed a powerful wind-style attack, but Sasuke and Sakura managed to jump away and avoid it, as the wind attack literally cut the tree behind them in half. Sakura managed to land safely on a tree branch. Still, Sasuke decided to press on, as he jumped from branch to branch, landing on one that was on top of Shire, and proceeded to jump down towards her and grabbed her body, completely catching her off guard, as he pulled her downwards towards the ground, in a pile-driving position. Uchiha style. Falcon drop. As they continued to fall from the extremely long drop, Shire's skull finally made an impact on the earthly ground, creating a small crack. Sasuke jumped away from her body and thought the worst was over, but suddenly Shire's body turned into mud, indicating that she had to substitute herself with a mud clone. The real Shire, who was on top of one of the branches above Sasuke, threw several kunes toward the Uchiha, but luckily he was able to evade them and find cover. As Shire was about to attack Sasuke from behind when Sakura attacked her. When Sakura managed to land a strike on Shire's chest area, the Kusakanoichi was angered by this, as she kicked Sakura's head with a swift roundhouse, sending the girl crashing down, unconscious. Rage filled Sasuke's body as he blindly attacked the Kusakanoichi, but Shire managed to use his anger against him, as she landed several punches on his face and knocked him down. What a disappointment you turn out to be. Your ancestor weeps in shame. I guess the Uchiha clan should thank me for killing you. Silly little worm. Shire said with a smirk. But she didn't realize Sasuke had managed to attach several small explosives to her clothes. As she was done talking, Sasuke instantly activated them, causing them to explode on her back and dropping her to her knees in pain. Sasuke immediately got himself up and jumped away, throwing several shurikens with ninja wires attached to them, as they circled around the Kusakanoichi. As Shire was distracted by her of Uchiha's legendary shuriken technique, the ninja wire began to surround her, wrapping around her body and tying the Kusakanoichi up against the tree behind her. Sasuke then pulled the ninja wires firmly in his hands, giving the Kusakanoichi absolutely no chance of moving a single muscle. As Shire began to squirm, she noticed Sasuke quickly made several signs. Fire style. Giant fireball. The ball of fire is big enough that it engulfs the whole place, turning everything around the area to ash. Sasuke released a sigh of relief. It was over. His eyes widened when he heard a sinister chuckle. Shire was still burned by the flames, but she managed to break free from the ninja wire. She held back her pain of still being burned alive by the dangerous fire, and willed herself away from the fire pit. But then she dropped down on her belly. Sasuke didn't let his guard down this time as he waited for something to happen. And something did happen. Something completely disgusting. Shire opened her mouth and began to regurgitate another Shire, like a snake shedding its skin. But this time, she looked completely different. While she attains her long black hair, her skin is now completely pale, her eyes are golden with slitted pupils and purple markings around her eyes, and she appears to have fang-like teeth. Her voice changed as well, almost sounding like a male chronic smoker. He stood at his feet and smirked at the young Uchiha. His saliva-covered body looked completely undamaged, as his old skin was still burning away into nothingness. Kukuki, to think that you reached this level already. You are truly a member of the Uchiha clan. Yes, I wanted you then, but now I want you more. You will be mine. The snake man said with a sadistic smirk. Sasuke tried to get himself up, but he had used too much of his chakra earlier, leaving him completely defenseless. You're definitely his brother. If anything, your eyes might be more powerful than Itachi's. The snake man said, and Sasuke's eyes immediately widened when he mentioned his big brother's name. Who the fuck are you? What do you want? Sasuke yelled out in anger. Kuku, my name is Orochimaru. But as to what I want, that will have to wait until we meet again. Which won't happen if you don't finish this test with the best score of all. First, you will have to defeat the Odo ninjas that serve me. The now identified Orochimaru said with a snake-like smirk. I don't know what you're talking about, and I don't care. You better kill me because I swear to God I'm going to kill you. Sasuke threatened. Kuku, oh no, Sasuke-kun. You are far too valuable to kill, especially with those eyes. But don't worry, we will meet again. I promise you. Orochimaru said as he made a single unique hand seal, and his neck began to elongate and move like a snake as it slithered towards Sasuke's direction. Sasuke tried to move, but his body wouldn't allow him. When Orochimaru's head was nearing the Uchiha's neck, with his mouth open, showing his sharp fangs, he suddenly noticed the water particles in front of the Uchiha were pulling themselves together, and his eyes widened at what came next. Water style. Water wall. A massive wall of water suddenly appeared out of thin air, standing firmly between Sasuke and Orochimaru's heads. The snake Sonin's elongated head crashed directly into the completely dense wall of water, sending it back to his body. Orochimaru was gritting his teeth in anger when he was denied his prize, and the person who was responsible happened to be Konoha's strongest genin, as he and Choji defensively landed in front of Sasuke. "I knew I saw a snake in the grass," Clone 7 said with a smirk, causing the snake Sonin to narrow his eyes at the blonde duplicate. "Naruto Uzumaki," Orochimaru called out to his new foe. Thanks for listening. I do hope you enjoyed. If you want the next part of this video, like, subscribe and comment down below, and turn on the bell notification. And also check out other videos that I have created and enjoy. See you in the next video. Peace.